What is up, guys? So this is gonna be the OT checklist that you guys actually wanted from the Instagram, or even the videos that I posted on Instagram saying, "Oh, if you guys want more free sauce like that, this video is it." This is gonna be a full, detailed, in-depth about how I go about my trading model that I use every single day during my live in my premium Discord, and it has an 80% win rate. I've gone over 80,000 payouts in the last year just doing this same method. And during this year, only in 2026, we managed to pull out over $40,000 in payouts. So if you guys are ready to learn, let's get straight into the video. So to start off, the first thing I like to do before going into a trading model on any setups is to look for either a liquidity sweep or even a SMT. So an SMT just means a smart money technique. If you guys don't know what that is, there is a video on YouTube somewhere that you guys can find. I'm sure there's a lot of tutorials out there on what an SMT is. It's a pretty basic concept you guys should learn before you guys even get into trading. But pretty much that's what I look for first. Okay. So how do you find a liquidity sweep or an SMT? So in this example, I'll be using a liquidity sweep. In this case, we have this liquidity sweep right here. So we have this previous low that just got swept by this low right here. So you can see that wick just went past it. Now I usually like to find these liquidity sweeps either on the 15-minute, the 1 hourly, the 2 hourly, or even the 4 hourly. Now, the reason why we use higher time frames is because they are more stronger and they are more likely to play out instead of the lower time frame. They have a stronger confidence to them and they can make your trades go crazy. So the next thing I would do is to mark out the OTE range. Now, a lot of you guys ask me this question: how do you mark out your OTE range, or how do you mark out your OTE fib tool? So the best way to go about this is pretty simple. You guys have to find your swing low to your swing high. That's pretty much it. So for example, in this case, I like to go on a 5-minute. So right now we're on the 5-minute time frame. And so what I like to see is after price got swept by liquidity in a 4 hourly, I would look for a lower time frame. For example, in this case, a 5-minute lower time frame. So I would look for a swing low, which we just got right here, and now we're looking for a swing high. So in this case, we just made a new range. We swing low, we swing high. This is the brand new OTE range. So to mark it out, you would go from the swing low to the swing high. Now, if you guys don't already have the OTE range fib tool settings, this is what it looks like. So you guys can just copy these settings right here. This is what I use for my fib tool. Okay, now that you guys have that all copied, so it's pretty simple. Like I said before, all you gotta do is mark it from the bottom of the swing low to the high of the swing high, just like that, and then you drag it out. Now, what we want to see next is for price to retrace into the 0.705 level. And as you can see, we left a huge giant wick right there on the 0.705 level. Now, the reason why we target the 0.705 level instead of 0.79, the 0.618, or the 0.005 level is because the 0.705 level is the most premium to us instead of the 0.05. So think of it like this. The more price likes to go down to these levels, the more it's more likely to reject, aka max expansion. In this case, anywhere from 0.705 down to the 1 level is max expansion. However, if we don't get any type of long wicks like this, huge reactions, then this wouldn't work at all. So in this case, the reason why this works is because we tapped the 0.705, which is the main premium discount, and we want to see a huge reaction off of that, which we just did. The third thing we want to see now is a CISD. So for the CISD, I like to go to the 1-minute time frame. So the third thing we want to see now is either go to the 30-second time frame or the 1-minute time frame. So now that we are on a 30-second time frame, we want to look for a CISD. So if you guys don't know what CISD is, it's pretty much a series of candles going down before going up. And for example, so in this case, this would be the last series of candles going down before going up. So this would be a CISD. Now, for this to be a valid CISD, we have to see this candle close above this red line right here where we have our CISD marked out. So as you guys can see, we clearly closed above the CISD. Now you guys can either enter here, or you guys could wait for a drawback down to the CISD level. And most of the time when it hits this level right here, it likes to shoot up immediately and leave a huge reaction off of it. So for example, I will set my order limit at that line. I'll do 1 mini. If we play this out, it plays out perfectly. As you guys can see, we bottom ticked it. There was literally no drawdown at all. And pretty much that is how I go about my trading model. Now, I would also like to note that for the OTE range to work, it has to tap some kind of fair value gap or even an order block for this to work, aka a higher time PD array. For example, in this case, a fair value gap or a order block. So in this case, we tapped a fair value gap on a 30-second right here. And for this to tap to it, it also has to react off of the 0.705. So if we go to the 5-minute time frame, we can see that we left clear reactions on the 0.705, and it also lined up with our 30-second F3G, aka fair value gap. And once we left reactions off of the fair value gap like that, we went up. We had a CISD, which we just put out right here. And then price would like to come down, tap into it. That's where you would enter, and then it would shoot up to your whatever your TP is. But I do have a premium trading Discord where I trade live every day with my students, and you guys get to see this same model get executed live. So if you guys are still confused and you guys still more direction and guidance, the link in the description below. So just join that, and yeah.